Hi friends, welcome to TheProDrummer.com Quick Hits. I'm Vince from TheProDrummer.com, and in this series you're going to learn different tips, tricks, and skills that make you more creative, more musical, and give you a better handle on the drums than ever before. Today we're going to be talking about everything there is to know about rim clicks and rimshots. Let's go. So what is a rim click? Before we go over that, there's a couple things we need to know. One is the anatomy of a drumstick, and the other is the anatomy of a drum. So first, let's go over the drumstick. So here we've got this part. This is the butt end of the stick. You hold on towards the butt end of the stick, shoulder of the stick, and tip of the stick, or the bead. All right, back end, front end, just so we know. So if somebody says hold it backwards, that's what I mean. Pretty self-explanatory there. Now let's go over a couple different parts of the drum itself. This part that you normally hit, this is the drum head. This part is the rim of the drum. That'll be important. The rim of the drum is usually metal, although sometimes you can get a wood one as well. Most of the ones you encounter nowadays are going to be metal. This is the shell of the drum, usually wood or metal. And then there's another rim on the other side, and then the snares and the snare throw off. Everything I show you on a rim click and a rim shot will be exactly the same, regardless of whether the snares are on or the snares are off. It'll work the same way. Okay. So to play a rim click, the first thing we're going to do is turn the drumstick around. You're normally going to play it with your left hand or the hand that's playing the snare drum when you're playing a groove, but you can play it with the right hand easily. So this is what a rim click sounds like. That's with the snares off, with the snares on. That's the sound we have. So let's go over how to do that. First thing, you're just going to take the stick backwards, as I said, and lay it on the drum. Then your hand is going to open up and go over it. You'll notice that the tip of the stick is not all the way against the rim. That's a common mistake that beginners make. Don't put it all the way against the rim. Also, don't put it too far this way. For me, it's about an inch, inch and a half away from the rim. That will change depending on the drum you have, depending on the stick that you use. All right. Thicker sticks will sometimes get a bigger, fuller sound. Sometimes if they're thinner, they won't get quite as full of a sound. So the sound will depend on the stick you're using as well. So what you're going to do, this fleshy, fat shock absorber part of your hand is going to go on the shoulder of the stick, pushing down. I'm not killing it. It's just lightly resting there. All my fingers are then resting on the drum, and I'm using my thumb and my index finger to pick up the stick like so. Okay, so these are all against the drum, and my index and thumb are on the stick. Now, I'm going to lift up the stick, but when I say lift up the stick, the tip of the stick is staying on the drum. I'm not lifting it up completely horizontally like that. I'm making an angle between the stick and the drum head. Then all I'm doing is kind of a combination of pushing and letting it fall on its own, while all my fingers are making contact with the drum too. You'll have to experiment here. If you're farther up, you'll get kind of a thick, blurry type sound. If you're all the way back, you'll get a thin sound. We don't want either of those. We want to hear the shell and the rim of the drum and a little bit of the head, although the head is fairly dead because our hand is on it. Now, you might find it's more comfortable to lift up all your fingers like this and just push down like that, but we don't want space here. We want those fingers on the drum. That mutes it. That makes the sound a little more, I don't want to say compact, but it takes all the ringing and the overtones away, and it gives you a much fuller sound, ironically. That's a rim click. We can play it with our other hand as well. You notice what I did there? As soon as I put it down, I didn't like that sound, so I pulled back. If you go back on the video, you'll be able to see that. Okay? You may have to experiment moving up, moving back to find the right sound for you. Some of it's personal taste. You might like this sound a little more. I don't think you would, but maybe you do. Be aware of the changes you're making, the manipulations that you're making, how it affects the sound. Always be aware of that. That's really important. With the snare on, same general sound, but you get a nice body, a nice undercurrent of the snare wires. I love that sound. Such a nice, sexy sound. Again, whether it's your right hand, did it again, or your left hand. You see, so always be aware. That first hit you get may be crappy, then adjust. Okay? I'm generally playing with my left hand, so you can tell my left hand is better at rim clicks than my right. That's okay. They won't be exactly the same. That's fine. Always try and get your weak hand. In this case, even though my left hand is my weak hand, it's my dominant hand for playing rim clicks. So my right hand is a little weaker at rim clicks, even though it's my dominant hand in general. Move it around, try it in many different ways, and find out what works best for you. One final thing, you'll notice from this camera here that the stick is kind of 50% in the middle of the drum here. It's not pushed this way. It's not here. It's right in the center of the drum. All right, with that in mind, let's take that to the drum set and play it with some grooves. I'd just like to take a quick minute to thank you for watching this videos and some of the other videos that I've put out. If you find this content useful, helpful, or informational, please subscribe to this channel and share it with a friend. That helps me more than you could know. Seeing as how this is basically a brand new channel, I'm just starting to put up educational content. The more you like, the more you subscribe, and the more you comment down below, the more that will help me. Thank you so much. And as always, if you need any one-on-one instruction, feel free to reach out. Let's get back to the video. So I'm going to do the exact same thing I just showed you with rim clicks on the snare drum, and we're going to do it on the snare drum here, but in the context of a groove. So again, I'm turning around my stick, finding a nice spot where this sounds good. Again, you'll be, after a while playing this, you'll get comfortable with where it is. You won't need to kind of test, is it here, is it here? You'll get it. All right, so first thing, let's take a couple 16th note grooves. I'm going to play it for 2 bars with a regular snare drum hit and then 2 bars with the rim click, just so you could hear the difference. Since the rim click is a little more subdued, a little quieter, a little more laid back than a regular snare drum hit, I'm not going to just play the bass drum and the snare drum, or I'm sorry, the bass drum and the hi-hat exactly the same volume as I would before. I'm going to bring it down a little bit too. So listen to the overall volume levels, and how that affects the groove in general. It's not just the rim click. It's the whole of the drum set that we need to accommodate to change to make this sound correct. All right, here we go. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E. Okay, so a good way to practice this is just take whatever grooves you already know. It doesn't matter if they're 8th note, quarter note, 16th note. It doesn't matter. But change the snare drum from on 2 and 4 or whatever beats it's on to a rim click. I'll do the same thing with some 8th note grooves. I'll play just 8th note grooves with the snare drum and then go into the rim click so you can hear the difference. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so hopefully that helps with the rim clicks. Take it slow, but really focus on the quality of the sound that you're getting. We're going to play it quiet, sometimes a little louder, but really focus on that nice, clear, almost woody quality of the rim click. One thing you'll notice when I was playing, sometimes it's difficult to flip your stick around mid-song if you don't have the time for it or the space or whatever. Also, you need to get comfortable with it. There's a lot higher chance of the stick falling if we're flipping it around while we're playing. Eventually, you'll do that. I always recommend having a couple pairs of sticks next to you, so when you drop one, you can pick another one up. But there's nothing wrong if we're in a situation where we're going back and forth between rim clicks and regular snare drum hits. Since we're going to want to turn the stick around, you can just play with it when you're hitting regular snare drum hits with the stick backwards. That's fine too. It'll give you a little bit of a different sound, a little fuller sound, a little louder sound, but that's totally cool. That'll work. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to go back and forth between rim clicks and just regular snare drum hits quite a bit here, but notice I'm not going to be changing this stick around. I'm not going to flip it around, okay? I'm just going to keep it backwards the whole time like this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you could see, sounded fine. I didn't flip the stick around at all. I just kept it backwards when I was hitting the regular snare drum. Hopefully you noticed I had a little bit of not a slip up there, but I don't know if I would call it a slip up, but what I was playing one of the times when I went to my rim click, I didn't like the sound, okay? It was a little too kind of thuddy like that, a little too blurry. I guess that's how I would describe it. And I've played this so much that automatically, boom, I just switched it, and the next click or the click after that sounded great to me. So even now, I've been playing for quite a long time. Always be listening. Always be listening. You're going to have to adjust what you hear. You're never going to be able to play, never going to be able to get the sounds you want unless you're constantly listening and adjusting. It is absolutely phenomenal how many adjustments, how many micro motions, how many little things we change all the time. When we're playing, even when we're not playing, when we're just walking around, there's whatever, you see a nail on the floor, you don't want to step on it without even thinking. You're just kind of moving so your foot isn't stepping on the nail. It's the same thing here. We're making so many adjustments, whether it's the rim click sound, whether it's, ooh, I didn't like the hit of that tom. Next time, let me get it right in the center to get a good hit. Whether the sound of a cymbal hit is too thin and we want a thicker hit. Always be listening, always be adjusting to make sure you're getting the best sound possible. What is a rim shot? Now, although the word rim shot is similar to rim click, two totally different sounds, and they'll be used for different purposes. While the rim click is more subdued, quieter, a rim shot is going to get the fullest sound of the drum, full-throated, balls out sound on the drum. It can be loud, but we can also play it more quietly. It's going to be a little easier to play loud at first, so maybe you want to start with that. So just the overall concept of a rim shot. Again, rim shot is going to be a fuller cutting sound, and it's going to activate the shell of the drum, the rim of the drum, and the drum head, as well as the snares and the resonant head. So we're activating all parts of the drum with this. How are we doing it? Well, the idea and the concept is to hit this part of the stick kind of down past the shoulder, the body of the stick. At the same time, we're making contact and hitting the tip of the stick on the drum head. So again, this part and this part is going to hit this part and this part of the drum. That will do two things. It's going to activate the drum head, so you're going to get the tone of the drum head. You're going to hear the rim. You're also going to get all that power, all that force, all that momentum transferred, boom, into the shell of the drum. So you'll really hear what the drum sounds like. This is where you really hear the difference between steel drums, brass drums, aluminum drums, wooden drums, different types of woods. These will all give you a unique, different sound, different personality will come out of each of the drums you play. All right, so to play this, it's going to take some trial and error. Again, we want to hit the rim of the drum and the head of the drum simultaneously. To get this, we're not going to push down like this. We're just going to use a normal hit. But we're going to want to try and hit the rim of the drum and the center of the drum at the same time. You get a full sounding, full throated crack that cuts through the mix. It'll cut through the other instruments. You'll hear it on recordings or live. Let's do it with the snares on. It's kind of like a gunshot. It's pretty freaking loud, and it's a very unique and a sound that you can really pick out. Once you hear a rim shot, you know it's a rim shot. A couple things. We don't want the snare drum too low. It's a little high right now. I just did that so you could see it. I don't think I would normally play it quite this high, although it's not ridiculous. If it's very low, we're going to end up hitting our leg. If it's too high, we're going to have to be like this, and it's going to be a little weird too. So we kind of want it right in the middle. It's kind of right where the belt, if you were wearing a belt, where that would be, kind of around your navel, maybe a little lower than your navel. We want to be able to play this with both hands. That is a rim shot. Again, it's a little louder, it's full-throated. We're activating the drum head, the rim, and the shell of the drum simultaneously by hitting the tip of the stick in the center of the drum and the body of the stick past the shoulder on the rim of the drum. Let's take it to the drums. One quick thing I'd like to remind you of is when you're playing rim shots, don't do a death grip on the sticks. Remember, the harder you grip the sticks, if you're really tense and you're really holding them tight, all that velocity, all that energy is going to be transferred from the stick into your joints, into your hand, into your arms. Over time, that can cause some serious pain and some serious problems, and we want to prevent all of that. So remember, if you're hitting really hard, if you're playing those rim shots, it might look like drummers are like grasping this as tight as they freaking can, but they're not. Most of them are holding it pretty relaxed. They're allowing the stick to resonate and to vibrate. So even though you've got a good grip on the sticks, all your fingers are wrapped around, thumb and index finger across from one another, when you're hitting the drum, make sure that that's quite loose. We don't want that death grip, and we don't want all that energy transferred into your hands and into your joints. That's really quite important. The most important thing I can impress upon you is don't do anything stupid to get hurt. Let's get back to the video. So here's a good way to practice these rim shots that I just showed you. So first off, like I said, we need to make sure that the snare drum's not too low, because then we'll be hitting our leg. You can still do it if it's up pretty high, but you may end up hitting just the rim. We want the best chance of hitting the head of the drum, the center of the drum, and the rim simultaneously. So with that, it'll be probably about belt level. We don't want it lower than that. We don't want it super high. So whatever works for you. If you have any questions about how high it should be, let me know. Reach out to me. I'm happy to do a quick little lesson, see how you're doing, check out your setup. You could send me a picture of where your setup is in relationship to you. That's totally cool. We can go over it. But here's a good thing. We want to make sure we're able to play rim shots with both hands. So we don't want to sometimes get a rim shot, sometimes not. First, let's just do 4 hits in each hand, concentrating, making sure that we're getting a good quality sound out of the drum, and we're really getting that nice throaty, full drum rim shot sound. Okay? Again, sometimes you're going to hit the rim like this, accidentally, totally fine. It's part of the learning process, as is just a hit. Let's do that one more time, and let's try it at different volume levels. One thing that some people ignore is a rim shot is not just a louder hit. It can be, but it's a different tone. You're getting a different tonality from the drum. You're activating the whole drum, the shell of the drum, the rim of the drum, and the head of the drum at the same time. So you're getting a different tone. That tone doesn't need to necessarily just be when you're rocking out full bore and you want it freaking loud. If you want that tone when you're playing quiet, in fact, we'll do this a lot in Latin music, where we want that tonality. Again, for now, keep the stick in the center of the drum, the tip in the center of the drum, but let's play it quieter and try and get that same quality of sound at a lower level. Okay, you can go back and forth, do the same thing, really work on that. Again, it's important to get it in both hands. You don't know when you're going to need your right hand to do it or your left hand to do it, whether you're playing open or just traditionally. All right, let me put that in a groove. The best way to get this in a groove is just take a simple groove. I'm going to just do a little eighth note groove here and try and consistently get that backbeat, 2 and 4, nice sounding, full-throated rim shot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you end up messing up and do this, it's going to sound weird, but keep going. Same thing if we end up doing this. Just a regular snare drum hit. It's okay. Take your time. Experiment. You may want to play a groove with 4 on the snare drum. More bang for your buck. You'll get more hits. Okay? Even though we would be playing the same thing with our right hand on the ride, sometimes it feels a little different. So make sure you're still practicing it on the ride. Play the grooves on the ride. Make sure you can do rim shots as well. One final thing that's worth noting, when we're going around the drums and we're playing 2 drums in unison, whether it's a tom and a snare drum or a cymbal and a snare drum, but let's focus on a tom and a snare drum. Sometimes we'll want them both to be just regular hits. Sometimes we'll want the right hand or the hand that's playing a drum, I guess if you're lefty, your left hand, the hand that's playing the floor tom or the tom to just be the tip and the left hand to be the rim shot, okay? So you'll need to practice that too, where they're not both playing rim shots, but just one is. Okay? Sometimes that could be a little tricky, but take your time with it, go slowly. And again, the most important thing is to just be aware of what you're doing. When you're playing this, when you're going around the drums, sometimes you're going to play rim shots. Just be aware of where you're trying to put the rim shots. You'll screw up sometimes and hit the rim and it'll sound like crap. Keep going, okay? You'll get it. I'm positive. It's also important to be able to go back and forth between rim shots and regular snare drum hits evenly, nicely. So let's take a groove. I'm going to play a groove. I'll play it on this snare because we're going to end up playing rim shots all over the place. So we have our regular hit here, which I'm playing a little quieter, and then our rim shot. Okay, I'm going to play it in a groove, and notice there's going to be some regular hits and some rim shots, okay? 3 E and a 4 E and a... So hopefully you could hear how I smoothly went between regular rim shots and regular hits there. Another really helpful thing is maybe just pick a rhythm. Let's just do solid 16th notes on the snare drum. I'll keep time in my hi-hat. And we're going to play all the notes fairly quietly and add in rim shots. try and keep the sound of the regular hits consistent and the sound of the rim shots consistent. There'll be different fluctuations in volume of rim shots and volume of regular notes, and we're going to want that at times. For right now, just try and keep them pretty similar throughout. Some will be louder, some will not be as loud. The quality of some will be better than others. But the more you practice this, the more comfortable you'll get with it. If you have any questions, let me know. I really hope this helped you. I hope this cleared up any confusion between rim clicks and rim shots. Two totally different things. We'll use them in different situations. But yeah, if you have any questions or any comments, please feel free to leave them down below. Leave a comment. Please like and subscribe. That really helps me. And as always, if you'd like individualized one-on-one attention, feel free to reach out to me, Vince at TheProDrummer.com, at TheProDrummer on Instagram, or my website, www.theprodrummer.com. Hope this really helps y'all, and I'll see you in the next lesson.